Hi, this is Darswell Rogers, your host of Profiles and Perspectives. Want to know what's happening in downtown Fayetteville for the holidays? Check out this interview with Bianca Shoneman, President, and Josh Choi, Chair of the Cool Spring Downtown District. Also, like and share this video.
You are listening to Profiles and Perspectives with Darswell Rogers, profiling interesting people and exploring perspectives perhaps you've never considered.
Profiles and
Perspectives.
Perspectives.
Wonderful Friday morning. You've reached Profiles and Perspectives with Darswell Rogers. I'm very pleased today to have an opportunity to have a conversation about what's going on in downtown Fayetteville. We've reached that festive time of the year, and so we got to figure out what's up. So I've got two of the leading folks to talk about downtown. I've got Bianca Shoneman.
That's right.
She's the president of the Cool Spring Downtown District, and I have the chair of the Cool Spring Downtown District, as well as the owner of Winter Bloom, Josh Choi. So to both of you, welcome.
Thank you, Darswell.
Thanks for having us.
You're going to have to get a lot closer to that mic, Josh.
Thanks for having us, Darswell.
Great. And so I'm going to let you guys decide who's going to kick off this conversation about what's going on downtown. Which one of you guys wants to kick that off?
Well, Darswell, this is the holiday season, and we are all fa-la-la-la-lying downtown. Let me tell you. La, la, la. We, just this week, actually, have been working alongside of PwC and the City of Fayetteville's Parks and Recreation Department. Really, it's been happening for about the last 2 weeks. So if you haven't been downtown lately, you'll notice, if you do make it down there, that we have really turned the place on for the holiday season. We have close to 200 wreaths and sprays that have been added to the street poles and street lamps throughout the downtown district, not just on Hay Street, on Person Street, on Gillespie Street, on Green Street, on Franklin Street. We've also worked in tandem with the city to purchase some major assets to enhance the holiday experience downtown. So you'll see a 22-foot Christmas tree out in front of the Arts Council that we just lit yesterday. We have a ball stack at the base of the Market House, a set of string lights over by Charlie's Pub on Person Street, and then an 8-foot by 8-foot, this thing is like really, really big, Darswell, LED lit sign that says Joy on Franklin Street. And it's just these types of, photographical monuments are really beautiful.
Awesome. And so you've got the festive feel. What are the activities to go along with the festivities, with the lights and all the rest?
Going back to the tree, that's the tallest we're going to make it as well?
It is, so when I first started working with the Cool Spring Downtown District, I noticed that we did not have, a municipal tree to celebrate this holiday. And so a couple years ago, we partnered with the city, and we purchased this tree at 12 feet. And every year since then, we've been adding 4 feet annually. It's gotten to the point where we now are bigger than the Sagra Stadium tree, which makes me really happy.
Oh, wow.
And we're at 22 feet now.
Yep.
So we have the biggest tree in all the city, we think.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen it, she's big, she's beautiful, she's all LED, highly photographical.
Okay.
Please come check her out, right in front of the Arts Council.
We've already seen, I'm right across the street, and I've already seen everybody just get those festive moment photos. It's fantastic. It brings people downtown.
So I know that there's a big event coming up right after Thanksgiving, but I don't want to skip it. There's something cool happening this weekend or into next week. Are there any specific activities besides just come downtown and shop?
Yeah, well, downtown's always open for business. We have some retailers and restaurateurs that are offering some specials this weekend in advance of the holiday. For example, Reverie Goods. Have you been to Reverie? It's in the 100 block of Hay Street.
Is that the vegetarian restaurant?
No. It's a retail spot. They do goods, local artists, and state-level artists. It's really a charming place to buy a gift for somebody.
Okay.
And they have an holiday open house this weekend. There's some sip and taste, like Santina over at the Sip Room is doing, some jazz music and some lovely wine flights if you're into that. And of course, we have over 31 restaurants and beverage locations in downtown. So if you're into walkability, getting out of your car, taking a lovely stroll on a charming Main Street, downtown Fayetteville is the place to do it.
I'm stunned. 31 and what is it's like a 6 or 7 block, 10 block ratio?
It's a half-mile area.
That's, man, that's impressive. And I had no idea it was that many.
Yeah, and I would say what's wonderful is you can eat around the globe too. I mean, we have Mediterranean restaurants, Italian restaurants, American fare. We have great varieties.
Great varieties. So, and obviously, correct me if I'm wrong. So, small business. I'm jumping ahead because that's also after Thanksgiving, right? So then anything specific on Thanksgiving Day, and then we could talk about what happens the day after Thanksgiving.
Do you know our dear friend Bruce Knox, who owns Bruce's Sports Lounge?
I don't know him personally, but I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
So he's on Person Street, and every year for the last 8 years, he does this event on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. It's called If You're Hungry. And what it is If You're Hungry is an event where he opens up his establishment, and anyone would like to contribute is welcome to bring cutlery, plates. Bruce donates close to 200 pounds of chicken and turkey, and then people bring all the sides. And last year he fed over 400 people.
Wow.
So I mean, it's really a lovely event to come out if you're hungry, if you're into the servitude of Thanksgiving, or if you're interested and need a meal. Either way, you're going to be satisfied when you walk out of there because the food is good, the hospitality is great, and it's a wonderful way to connect with your community as a whole. New this year, he's adding a clothing drive and a shoe drive, and he told me that he had some really charming little girls' clothes. So,
Wow.
yeah.
So we're talking downtown Fayetteville today. I've got Josh Choi. He's the chair of the Cool Spring Downtown District and the owner of Winter Bloom. We'll have to talk about that for sure. And Bianca Shoneman, she is the president of the Cool Spring District, which, by the way, the Cool Spring District is, maybe we should actually explain what that is. So what is, and I'll ask you, what is the Cool Spring Downtown District?
We are in charge of the Arts and Entertainment District that is downtown. Everything from the murals that you see on the Capitol Encore Academy, the public art displays, we help facilitate all of that.
And so then within that, then I guess there's a merchants association. Are they still doing that sort of thing? And then you've got the Arts Council, who's got a focus down here. So you guys are collaborating with a number of other organizations in terms of what happens down there.
Yeah, we do actually. I think that's what's really cool about being downtown is we bring together the private sector, which Josh represents, and public sectors like us. We're registered as a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We receive funding from a special taxing district downtown, and then the Arts Council invests in us as well because we bring to life the Arts and Entertainment District. And then to complement the work that we do, we have an advocacy group that's been around for a very long time, known as the Downtown Alliance, and they're kind of like the Chamber of Commerce for downtown. They're a business-to-business relationship entity, and they do a lot of work around parking issues, or if they see the need for things to change politically, they, as their tax structure allows them to do, organize around those issues that support sort of a pro-business climate in downtown. And I think that intersection of public, private, and the community sector coming together is how we've been able to see a lot of growth in the downtown. In the last few years, we've been cataloging the level of private investment in downtown Fayetteville. And Darcy Wells, I'm so pleased to report that we have nearly $100 million in private investment that's happening in downtown Fayetteville. Big stuff. We've opened close to 40 new businesses, street level businesses in downtown Fayetteville. There's great things happening.
You know what's interesting when you say there's been $100 million invested, and there's
100 million square feet, gross square feet.
Gotcha. Okay,
Gross
100 million square feet. Thank you. That's sorry, 100 million.
Yeah.
What is clear to me is that there's still so much opportunity for growth because there's still buildings that aren't well occupied, or businesses that while they're there, they don't really seem to attract a lot of attention. And then you've also got businesses that are not kind of retail oriented. They're there, but they're really not retail oriented, and maybe at some point they would flip over, which would also be a very kind of interesting and vibrant for the community. Josh, you told me when you got here that you're coming into your 8th year at Winter Bloom.
Yes.
And for folks, if you've never been to Winter Bloom, it's a very cool spot downtown. Started out initially as just the blender of amazing teas, and has moved on to do other things. When Josh first opened, I would walk down into his store, and I'd say, you know what, man, I feel like sunshine today. Can you blend me something? And he would say, he asked me 3 questions. He says, do you want caffeine or no? Hot or cold, or sweeter? How sweet?
I miss those days. We still kind of do that a little bit, but I have a lot of customers from the good old days, I guess, that will still do that for us, and I kind of miss that. You should come back in and do that.
I'll have to.
Yeah.
I'm definitely coming down after Thanksgiving this year, and so we'll figure out. That might be the worst day to do it because you'll be packed with a lot of people.
Yeah.
We'll find. I maybe get down there before Thanksgiving to do something that would be pretty cool. So you know, you are one of the entrepreneurs that stepped into the downtown and has helped to make it special. I just want to tell a little bit about your story. What was it that inspired you to open up downtown? And from what I gather, it wasn't like tea was in your blood or anything, you know, there's some presumption that, Josh Choi probably grew up with tea for some reason. I don't know why that would cross my mind, but
It fits the dialogue.
It fits the dialogue.
Yeah, the story. No, I found it a little later in life, and going back to Fayetteville, this is what I always say. Fayetteville is the place where I never felt like I was out of place. So, being from an immigrant family, we bounced around a lot. I think I had 3 or 4 different schools in 1 year before we came to Fayetteville. And that feeling of being outcasted
in the other places where you were.
Correct.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But here, everyone kind of has been jumbled together in Fayetteville. And so you were the new kid for one moment. But next week, there was another new kid that came in. And so that feeling went away, but then you could also sympathize with that new person that came in. And it was it just made this home. And
Okay.
so the city center, the core, was the no-brainer of where we needed to open if we wanted to do something. And 7 years ago, we did it, and we're continuing to kick it.
And what's interesting, conceptually, I would have said a tea spot. That would have been my initial reaction. Tea, I mean, tea? But what was the inspiration around tea? I mean, that's just not what have initially jumped out at me. Clearly, there's so many coffee places, so I
Sure.
get the counter marketing strategy. But what inspired you to do
It
tea?
wasn't even that. It was coffee being a saturated market. We do not do coffee at all. We leave that to our fellow business owners that are downtown. But we focused on the holistic wellness side of tea and all the benefits and kind of expound from there. Okay. Yeah.
And so Winter Bloom is at 238 Hay Street, which is kind of diagonally across from the Arts Council, across from what we now call the Hay Street Kitchen.
Yes.
Kind of in that general area, and it's a very cool spot. You can sit inside or out if the weather's good. Mm-hmm. So highly recommended. So let's bounce into the activities after Thanksgiving on the Friday.
Can I mention that what's really cool about Josh's family is that his parents were also entrepreneurs, and Josh helped manage their business for many years.
Okay.
And they own a local establishment here that's been around for a long time. And Josh got his sort of seat in entrepreneurship there. And I always find it interesting when you see young risk takers like Josh, who is a serial entrepreneur and who I would assume has a great life ahead of him. Supplying people with jobs, building to the unique and cultural offerings in our community through his business negotiations.
Awesome.
I mean, he's just a gem for our city, and I love that he comes from a family that had an entrepreneurial spirit. He went to college, he got his degree, and then he came off as an entrepreneur himself.
Well, let's go ahead and point out that you're a member of the Bronco Pride community. So
I am.
Bronco Pride. So come down to check him out at Winter Bloom. So let's talk about what's happening for the weekend, Friday and onward.
Yeah, so Friday, the Friday after Thanksgiving, there's a Josh, do you know how many years Dickens has been around?
I couldn't tell you without lying to you.
Right.
But
A million years
I think it's
since Lafayette.
Right,
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
it's decades.
Right.
It's decades.
I
It's
think
a
so, too.
decade-long event, and
I think that's why the Downtown Alliance fought so hard to keep that tradition
Right.
alive.
it's
which
part
is-
of our identity as a
Correct.
city. And, I will say, so the Dickens holiday is on the Friday after Thanksgiving. It's from 1 to 9 p.m. The event has expanded back to Hay Street and over to Franklin Street. So you'll have activation nodes over at the Transportation Center, vendors lining Hay Street, horse-drawn carriage rides, which tickets are still available for the horse-drawn carriage rides. And then a tree lighting ceremony as the evening turns to dusk, which is just going to be lovely. My first year in Fayetteville, I couldn't get over how this city figured out how to combat Black Friday. So we all know Black Friday, right, as being sort of a big box retail shopping opportunity. And downtown doesn't have any big box retailers. We're full of small business owners, right? And somehow this city figured out how to combat Black Friday shopping with organizing this really interesting event that is done every year. And it attracts thousands and thousands of people. And it is a cultural phenomenon for the city.
And so explain Dickens. I mean, what exactly takes place? There's plenty of folks in this town who know that something goes on, but they don't exactly know what it is. They've never felt compelled to go or whatever. So kind of explain exactly what happens during the Dickens holiday.
Darswell, have you ever been?
I went last year for the first time.
And what do you think?
I thought, one thing I'll say was I split my time between.
The two events.
Yeah, so I didn't spend the whole time over at the Dickens. I actually had to figure out where it was.
Okay.
So I'm not the best person to talk about it. The one thing I can tell you is that people have period costumes on.
Correct.
And beyond that, I can't tell you a whole lot more. So please.
What I understand is that the event is sort of based off A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. And so they bring to life that sort of Victorian era of history. And they have folks roaming around, police officers dressed as bobbies. You have Scrooge, the ghost of Christmas past is roaming around. So they're looking to bring that novel to life. And if you're interested in that time period, there's also a candlelight lighting ceremony.
So that's cool.
It is and you mentioned earlier before we turned on the speakers here that it's, a very beautiful event and that the photography from it is memorable. And I don't disagree with you. I think it's something that truly stands out visually for our town.
Well, it's a real opportunity, and I've seen some great shots that folks have gotten, they've gotten up on a rooftop or something and shot down on it, and the timing of it and everybody with the candles. It is arguably downtown Fayetteville at its best in terms of its visual. Man, that's a cool thing. When does that happen, right? Where is that, and when does that happen? I can't think of any other image that I've seen of our downtown that is nearly as special. So you're going to have, street. It's kind of a Fourth Friday plus. Is that kind of?
Yeah, it is. Our municipality is known for its monthly Fourth Friday events, and so Cool Spring Downtown District, from March until October, executes a monthly street festival. It's filled with vendors and food trucks and live music, and sometimes they're themed and sometimes they're not, right? For instance, we just recently had the Zombie Walk, which, listen to this, had a record number of people there. We had 25,000 undead people roaming the streets.
Wow.
That is amazing.
Wow.
Fayetteville takes zombies very seriously.
We're all just ready for the apocalypse.
In preparation, huh?
Right.
You've got a laugh there that kind of fits a little bit of that kind of fits with the season.
Whoops, let me turn on my charming laugh. Anyway, yeah, so every Fourth Friday we have an event in downtown Fayetteville, and we're honored to do that. And then for the month of November, the Arts Council had previously been involved in the Dickens holiday. And then they decided they wanted to change direction. And for the last 2 years, that business-to-business group that I was telling you about earlier, the Downtown Alliance, has really taken the lead on this particular event. And so they're in charge of executing the Fourth Friday in November. And it's a wonderful opportunity to support local businesses, to eat at local restaurants, and then to feel a true sense of community. It's quite charming. And immediately following that, of course, we have Shop Small, Saturday.
Yes.
And Shop Small Saturday is a big day, started by Visa, which is kind of interesting that it started by Visa.
American Express.
Sorry, American Express.
Express,
That's
yes.
right. Thank you, guys. Thank you. And, you know, there's some great statistics about Fayetteville's strong sense of entrepreneurship. You know, we have, I think in the nation, we have the highest number of Black-owned businesses. And
Oh, yeah, that's true.
that's true. And then
Black-owned businesses in the county, in the city? In the city.
11%, if I remember correctly, from that. And then in
Interesting.
our downtown, an average of 32% of our downtown businesses identify as Black-owned.
Huh.
So even higher than the national level.
If I were to ask you guys to, and I'm putting you on the spot a little bit, to talk about I'm going back to food for a second.
Sure.
What some of the cuisines that are down there? You mentioned the Italian, the American.
Yeah.
But what are some of the cuisines? Because I just don't think that people actually know all the kind of what's there to
There's
offer.
Mediterranean. There's the Agora, right?
That's Mediterranean.
There is,
The Thai place on Person Street,
there you go.
Mia's Kitchen.
Mia's?
Mia's? It used to be PJ's. Her daughter-in-law bought
Actually,
it.
I don't even know where that is.
Yeah, it's past the roundabout. So if you go past the Convention and Visitors Bureau,
Oh, way down there.
it's just, yeah, but it's a great little spot, and they do a lunch buffet for
I
$12.99.
didn't know. I didn't know.
You
there
know
was
where
something-
Ebony is with the parking?
Doris Wells does not get parking
Ebony.
tickets.
Ebony McNeil?
Sorry.
Right next door to her, I believe. Is where
Okay,
it's at.
well, if it's past the Visitors Bureau, then I know,
Yeah.
and I'm all over that area. I'm just obviously moving too fast.
It's okay.
I've taken notice of it. Mm-hmm. They've got that. Have you been to that vegan place? That's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, their lentil tacos are a gift to your belly.
And what's the name of that place?
It's called Vibe Gastropub.
Vibe. Yes.
And you know what's really interesting about that is that started as a food truck called Authentique Cafe, and she would pop up at
Oh.
Cool Spring downtown events as a vegan food truck.
Yes.
And her demand for her product became so great that she chose to open, you know, one of Fayetteville's first vegan spots in downtown Fayetteville, and her business is doing great. She's recently expanded to include outdoor dining, and she does trivia nights and local
Wow.
artist nights.
When you said that she was a food truck, I now remember because I
Right.
now know exactly who you're talking about.
Right.
There's also on that street, if you go down the street, I guess, I can't remember the name of these, the side street, there's another place that's kind of got Aki and other sorts of, it's,
Prima Wellness.
yes, that's what I'm thinking of. You know, so there's some interesting food. The salad box and things just opened up where the turkey shop used to be.
Delicious.
And then you've got bees and boards over in what used to be the Sistel building, which is now another type of building.
The Dogwood Bank.
Yes, Dogwood, thank you. So we are going to take a break here at the bottom of the hour. We're coming back. We're going to talk about downtown with Bianca Shoneman. She's the president, and Josh Choi. He's the chair of the Fayetteville School Springs Downtown District. We'll be right back. And welcome back to the second half hour of Profiles and Perspectives with Darswell Rogers. I'm really pleased to be talking about all the activities that are taking place in downtown today. I've got Miss Bianca Shoneman. She is the president of the Cool Springs Downtown District, and Mr. Josh Choi. He is the chair of the district, and he's also the owner of Winter Bloom, which is one of the coolest places to go down and have tea and something to drink. And so we're here talking about downtown. We kind of covered the food segment of all the wonderful food downtown. Josh, you mentioned something that I'd not heard about. There's a Lafayette cognac?
Yes. The county made a big push to get a very special Lafayette cognac in, and that's currently at the ABC stores right now. And what we are planning on doing, actually from now until the rest of the year, we're doing a special contest. We have over more than 10 participating businesses that are doing a very special Lafayette cognac-based cocktail, and we're gonna have it for everybody to try.
And we and everybody is, let's cover the we. Who's the we that's going to have it for people to try?
So our list, my
Where
rough-
can we get this,
my
Josh?
rough list is Aston, Circa, Blue Moon, Winter Bloom, Antonella's, Piero's, Bruce's, Dirty Whiskey, 'Hay Street Kitchen, Livery, 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 'Hay Street Kitchen, is
Love the
my
livery.
Is your list of who's
not
going to be?
livery.
I love the livery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, those are at least the groups that are going to be. So basically, you walk into a place and have an alcohol license. You want to ask them, do you guys have a Lafayette cognac drink for me to try?
Yes, and City View, I believe, is doing an article about it, and we're supposed to be doing, the EDC, Economic Development Corporation, should be putting out a post on where you can find that as well, and doing shout-outs weekly about where you can find those cocktails.
So there's always been a Lafayette cognac, and we just and you know, I don't want to get too heavy. I'm a business person. I immediately want to, who manufactures? How long? I guess we don't.
Isn't it from France?
It is.
It's
yeah.
from France, and we have a sister city. Our sister city as a municipality is Saint Oliva, and they recently came to our community for a 30th anniversary
Oh, I
visit.
met them on the street.
Yes, they were very nice, weren't they?
That's right,
The
yes,
mayor
that's
of
right.
the town, the
Yeah.
deputy mayor, and then one of the
Yes, I did.
council
I met them
members.
just walking down the street.
Yes,
Somebody introduced me to them.
they're wonderful.
Yeah.
And so the partnership between the Fayetteville Cumberland County Economic Development Corporation and the town of St. Oliva came together to bring this cognac that this region of France produces
Okay.
to really highlight the connectivity between Lafayette, France, and Fayetteville.
Right. Awesome.
And if you're drinking it downtown, you can always partake in our social district as well.
So explain the social district.
The social district is in our zone of downtown, you can actually have alcohol in a container and walk around and shop and have it out on the streets instead of being contained into the building that you bought it at.
And this-
Tammy likes that, you guys.
and this is something the city council kind of passed in the last year or so, right? It was a
Yeah.
relatively new decision on their part to create a better social environment in downtown.
Correct. The point of so during COVID, there were some adjustments to some of the ABC laws where you could get to-go cocktails. And then with that adjustment and the structure, the city or different cities have found a way to create social districts where you could have these cocktails to go.
Okay.
And it was to entice more retail. That was the idea. But I guess, Bianca, do you have some better metrics than I do?
One thing that I think is really interesting, Josh, and thanks to you and places like Jet Mortgage and Dream Finders, several attorneys in town have purchased cups for us, and Cool Spring Downtown District has helped to manage the local ordinance to promote the social district.
Right.
And what we've done is you're required by law to have a 12 to 16 ounce cup. And we give the cups away to businesses that participate in the district. And it's been about a year since we've been in pilot mode. We go back before City Council in mid-December to hopefully make the ordinance permanent and the social district permanent. But you know how many cups we've passed out, Mr. Rogers?
No,
Would you like to take a stab at that?
2,000.
25,000 cups.
Wow.
And so if you were to estimate, now Josh's price points are a little different, right? But let's say it's $6 per cup. That's $150,000 in additional revenues to support our downtown small business culture.
Wow, that's
And not
awesome.
only that, like I talked to Megan from Reverie Goods yesterday, and she was saying that, what's fantastic is when someone comes in with a social district cup, they're kind of feeling it. She's like, let me just show you everything in our store. And so it does have that transcendental benefit.
Yes, it will loosen up your pocketbook and whatever. And so if you're going to walk around downtown, you have to have one of these designated cups. You
That's
just can't
correct.
kind of show up with your cup and think it's
Correct.
acceptable. So that's part of the hook. So the social district obviously it's geared toward having people out and about on the street and not feeling like, hey, I had a drink, but I got to stay here until I finish it. So I guess you gave a financial benefit just in terms of the cup, but is there any other insights you have in terms of how retail business may have improved as a result of what's going on?
I don't have any quantifiable metrics like I can provide with the estimate of the cup and the
Right.
generation of revenue there. But I will say that we go before City Council in the next few weeks. Most of our retailers will go with us to show support for the permanence of the ordinance to make it into local law.
Okay. We're going to cover some other activities going on downtown so folks know this augmented reality. So tell me about this augmented reality that's going to be on the self-help building.
Actually, it's not on the self-help building. So this is
okay.
a project that was sort of manifested between the Arts Council and the Cool Spring Downtown District. And what we're doing is we believe we are the first city in the state of North Carolina to use augmented reality as a street level activation. So you'll find 3 AR stations sprinkled throughout the downtown, Person Street, Hayes Street, et cetera. And what you'll be able to do is you'll see this sandwich board, right? And it'll say, scan this QR code. And Darswell, what happens is you scan the QR code, and then all of a sudden a forest of Christmas trees pops up behind you, right?
Okay, now I track.
And so it's kind of like a Snapchat filter, but it gives you the opportunity to think that something is with you when it's not. And it's all holiday themed, so it's just another way for you and your family to come down, take really cool photos that nobody else can do, because we are the only city of North Carolina doing augmented reality, and they're all holiday themed. We have Christmas trees, we have a puzzle you can put together with augmented reality, and then we have Hanging with My Nomies, which is little cute holiday gnomes.
Hanging with your, okay, with the homies instead of nomies. I gotcha.
Nomies, yeah.
It took me a little while. You know what's interesting?
Tammy got it pretty quick.
It is that potential, just the AR travel. I mean, it could be an opportunity to take you back to the 1800s in Fayetteville. I mean, there's so many interesting things you can do with AR as you walk through.
Correct.
So that sounds really, really interesting. I'll have to do that. And then there's an event in Festival Park.
Yes, let me tell you too about this other art project that we have.
Please.
So coming November 20th, we've worked with a media artist named Robin Vushnik, and she works in NC State's digital media department, which is part of their School of Art and Design. Robin, what she does is she uses projection mapping to cast large format images onto buildings that are moving and colorful, kind of kaleidoscopy. And so Robin and her team are coming in on Monday. We're going to work with Center City Gallery and Books to project 4,000 square feet of moving art from November 20th through January 6th onto the self-help building.
Okay, that's what's on the self-help building.
Correct.
And I've seen stuff put up there in the past, so that's always very cool.
It is very cool.
So just go ahead without me naming them off. What else, Josh? You give me something else that's going on downtown.
The only thing that I have that you haven't mentioned was our night circus that I'm really excited for.
Yeah, talk about the night circus.
It won an international award. Bianca and the team, gosh, isn't Bianca amazing? She does so many amazing things for our city, and it's just, we wouldn't have any of these things without Cool Springs and everything that whole team with Ashanti and Lauren. They're just a 3-woman dream team that we have.
Okay.
But going back to, so night circus, we're bringing in.
I think you should announce it. Here, I'll give you a little.
Drum roll, please.
We're bringing Spinderella in. And we're bringing in Cisco with Drew Hill.
Woo!
Yep. So that's who we're bringing in for our night circus.
And that's New Year's
Eve.
New Year's Eve. So it's going to be incredibly festive time downtown.
In Festival Park.
It's in Festival Park. And when you call it a circus now, I have to admit, I don't know what Spinderella is. So help
You don't
me
know who
out.
Spinderella is? Do you not remember Salt and Pepper?
Yes, I remember Salt and Pepper.
Spinderella with Salt and Pepper is.
Oh, is that right?
Their DJ. I mean, she's one of the first women to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Okay.
She is an amazing, sort of 50-year hip-hop artist.
Okay.
She's stunningly beautiful.
Hey, turn on my black card. What can I tell you?
Listen, she is amazing. And you're going to love her. She's going to, DJ for us for about 75 minutes, and then we have a 75-minute set from the full band of Drew Hill, who's bringing 17 people with them.
Wow.
So full band to include Cisco's, probably their most notorious band member.
Okay.
And there'll be free thongs given out at the event. So, thong, 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 thong is their, probably most notorious song. Our night circus is actually themed after this book called The Night Circus, which was just sort of serendipitous, actually, that we came up with this theme. The city had come to us and said, hey, Cool Spring, we'd love to partner with you to ideate on a concept for a New Year's Eve event. We're the 6th largest city in the state of North Carolina, and we should have a city-supported New Year's Eve festival.
Right.
And so at the time, my colleague Ashanti Bennett was reading this book by Aaron Morgenstein called The Night Circus, which was about a Victorian era circus that would magically appear in your town overnight, give you the most magical of experiences, and then disappear the next day. And so through that book, which is really illustrative, vivid, great costuming as described in this, we kind of took the concept, we went before the city hall and we said, hey, we'd like to bring a night circus. A lot of communities just, drop a ball, they have a, live music show. What we do is we bring the weird and the wonderful to life. We give a place for the makers and creators to come out and play. So you've got fire breathers, aerialists, jugglers, magicians roving throughout the event. On the stage, we have Airborne Aerialists, which is a very, very talented local group of yoga aerialists that complement the works of the stage. And then how we set ourselves apart, not only through the visuals with the circus theme, is that we heavily invest in the production of this event, and we work alongside our partners over at DBI. And so if you haven't been to this event, we're using light and color in a way that hasn't really been seen at Festival Park before. We spare no expense when it comes to the production.
Okay.
And so it's very beautiful. And, at the time when we started in 2021, it was the first year post-pandemic, and we as a community had come together to launch the Can Do City brand with, the 9 cities that represent Cumberland County. And, that charge was led by the EDC and the county and the CVB. We were fortunate to be a part of that. And I was really feeling that we are America's Can Do City.
Absolutely.
And different from other cities who drop something at midnight, I felt like we needed to rise to the occasion. And so we had a local sign company, Blashville Signs, build us this 18 by 18 foot LED star. Has over 150 multicolored LEDs in it. It's got 9 colors that represent each city in the state in the county. And at midnight, instead of dropping something, we partner with a crane company and we lift that crane 150 feet into the air because we are America's Can Do City.
Boy, man, it sounds like, and we've still got a couple of things that we haven't even mentioned that are taking place. But let me just note that sounds spectacular. I wish I could say I was going to be around for New Year's. I'm going to be someplace else, but I'm encouraging folks if you're in town to do that. And then Festival Park's got not Festival Park. Segra Stadium has got a big activity that's taking place. Just share what's going on there.
Yeah, so the Fayetteville Woodpeckers, our home team town, every year they do this thing called Holiday Lights, which is a multi-week event where it's ticketed. It only costs $10, so it's, very price comfy, if you would. And for $10, you can get into Segra Stadium, see over 2,000 lights. They're usually doing a themed event. So I know they have Military Mondays, Wagon Wednesdays. I think they have a Princess theme night. And they're always doing cool movies. I believe they open up on December the 8th. Okay. And it's 2,000 lights. So if you're enchanted by Christmas lights like I am, please go check out the Woodpeckers website. Tickets are available easily for purchase on their website. I believe if you walk up on the day of the event, the tickets are $12. Also still a very comfortable price point. They'll have concessions available. Healy's Bar will be open. They also partner with local nonprofits, and nonprofits donate a pre-decorated tree, and they've had hundreds of trees on their, causeway before. At the end of that event, Darswell, they donate the trees to families that don't have Christmas trees, which is just really lovely.
Awesome.
'Tis the season, so.
'Tis the season. And let me just remind folks of a couple of other things. You've got the Arts Council has got a Native American exhibit in there called Still Here, Still Native American, if I understand. The Gilbert Theater is having a Christmas Carol.
Correct.
That is going to be there. Fascinate You, which is the Children's Museum, is going to be open downtown. So there's just, and I always say to folks, well, if you ever say there's nothing to do in this community, you really have not paid enough attention to what we see. So I want to kind of go. We're talking to Bianca Shoneman and Josh Choi, president and chair of the Cool Spring Downtown District. We've talked about the fact that we've got over 30 food operations downtown. We've got a Lafayette Cognac where a lot of the restaurants are going to be blending a drinks with this special Lafayette Cognac from France, which will connect to the social district where we have these specific cups. You can walk around downtown and do other shopping with your alcoholic beverage. You've got augmented reality where you can grab a QR code and walk around downtown and see lovely things. You've obviously got the tree lighting and everything, and the Dickens holiday that's going to happen the Friday after the holidays. The store is going to be open. You got Small Business Saturday on Saturday to come down and hang out and do that. You've got the night circus on New Year's in Festival Park. You've got all the lights in Sager Stadium for $10 or $12. You've got the Arts Council with the Native American event. You've got the Gilbert Theater with A Christmas Carol. You've got all the vendors that are going to be out on Friday. What did I forget that you guys talked about today?
I don't think you forgot anything. I mean, he's nailed it, hasn't he, Josh?
Comprehensive right
Well,
there.
you got Winter Bloom that you got to go and hang out at Winter Bloom. Josh is going to be Winter Bloom. If you've never been in there, to have amazing mixologist, be it alcoholic or non-alcoholic, it's a really treat. And then you're just going to have an opportunity, particularly on Friday, with all the candle lighting. They're going to turn all the lights out in downtown Fayetteville. They're going to give everybody a candle. They're going to, it's just going to be a cool environment.
It's a wow moment. It is definitely a wow moment. I will
it's a
tell you
wow
too,
moment.
yeah, I know you're very health conscious, Mr. Rogers, and his turmeric ginger tea, have you had this?
No,
Oh
no.
my goodness, it literally is like sunshine in your body.
Okay, turmeric ginger tea. Okay.
It's good for you, anti-inflammatory, flushes you out, warms you up, tantalizes your taste buds.
So you like it warm?
I like it warm,
Okay.
yeah, I do. I'm a warm tea
Well,
drinker.
I
yeah.
go, it depends on the time of the year. But
Sure.
yeah, this time of year is actually going to be warm.
It is.
So we've got about 4 minutes.
Are you going to ask Josh about his new endeavor?
So I was about to go there. So Josh, you've got a new venture. Tell us about it.
I do. I took over Fowler's lease. Unfortunately, like, as much as I loved their barbecue, for whatever reason, they have shut down. But I looked at that as an opportunity for me to take over something. Unfortunately, it's not in the MSD or in the downtown area,
Right.
but we're trying to create a moody, speakeasy-esque, adult, grown-up moment there. And we've had it since maybe mid-October, and we're working on getting everything situated. Paint is finished, lighting is finished. I had to meet the fire marshal this morning before I came here, and we passed.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a big
Thank you.
deal.
I tell you, getting over the hurdles to get open is no small task.
Yes. And then I'll be going to the city after this to get some other ducks in a row. And everything is kind of working out. So,
But hold on, you got to go back. What exactly are you putting there?
so what happened was when we started doing alcohol, we took our same energy that we did with tea into making cocktails.
Right.
And so I have a lot of bartenders, a lot of our staff that want to keep going down that road. Unfortunately, Winter Bloom closes at 9. So prime drinking usually happens around 9, 10 o'clock.
Right.
So this new venture, which we are calling Archives, will be at 723 West Rowan Street. And we're staying open till midnight to have a similar vibe to what you're used to at Winter Bloom, but more adult focused.
Okay.
And we're focusing on the classic cocktails, classic old fashioned, daiquiri, martinis, and really getting back to the basics of cocktails. And then we're going to do modern cocktails as well. The one that I really like is from a bartender out in, I think, Texas. She did a slow and unsteady, and it's just this marriage of slow gin, Fernet Branca, and lime juice and honey, and it's just beautifully curated. And so that's what we want to focus on and bring that to Fayetteville.
We got about a minute. So what's the vibe going to be like in there?
So dark, dimly lit, leather furniture,
Music,
a velvet curtain,
presumably.
low music.
Okay.
I want it to be a place where you can come and have a business meeting, but I also want it to be a place where you can come and socialize and have your party there, and just
Awesome.
same vibe.
Okay. So, Josh, Choi, Bianca Shoneman, thank you for coming and opening up my eyes and hopefully those listening to all the wonderful things that we've got taking place downtown. We didn't even get beyond New Year's.
We didn't.
So there's a bunch of great stuff. You guys will have to come back early in the new year to talk about what's going on in the springtime, all
That would
right?
be an honor.
So basically, downtown's the place to be.
There you go.
That's my
Enough said.
takeaway.
Enough said. And with that, everyone have an outstanding weekend. Hopefully you'll be downtown during the holiday season, and you listen to Profiles and Perspectives with Darswell Rogers. Thank you for joining us for today's program. If you like programs like this, please like this video and share it with others.